I just gotta figure out where to put this up. All right. Make sure this is all good. Try to make sure the stream is working. It's super the bad signal up here for real. I go light brown. All right, 1 second. Let me see. Is it working? Is it good? Let me see. Put it in voice ISO so it sounds better. See. Put it in voice. There we go. That's better. All right. Let me drop the link real quick. All right. Sorry for the delay. All right, what we got so far? Same thing. All right, yeah. So all we did was basically break out from here. All right. So main level to watch, obviously 736, 735, 50. So as long as it's hold, right, it has to hold higher time frame. Anything that gets back over 738, obviously target right back up, right where this 5 day is. Ooh, man, I don't know if this is gonna work. The signal I already got is telling me it's going slow. Yeah, we might have to migrate. Yeah. I mean, this is basically the same thing that happened as on Friday. So you see, it's just a bunch of chop, 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 end of day move. You got one move here, and then it kind of has been chopping ever since. But you still got to be careful. Remember, because I said, even though downside is limited, you still are below the 5, right? It's your short-term moving average. So you don't really want to go too crazy, just off GP. There we go. I got to figure out how to add music to the stream. Then it'll be a lot more fun, bro. Yeah, we're up here in the clubhouse kicking it. Over here catching a little vibe. All y'all see is downtown Houston. All right. Bro, I am tired, man. I don't know what's going on with me. Bro, it's just exhausted every day. What they do? What y'all in right now? Y'all in anything? Watch your right now. It's fine. Appreciate it, brother. Yes, sir. But yeah, like I said, man, the only thing is that I'm watching really for upside, like I said, is buying time, right? Because even though we got like a little breakdown retest and pre-market, if we can't go down, obviously, the bulls will step back in. Um, so yeah, even though like I said, we took the puts off that 105% in 3 fucking minutes. You know how we do. Oh, I gotta stop cussing, man. I gotta stop cussing. Yo, coach was popping, man. Was popping. XOM. Oh, hey, shout out to whichever one of y'all told me about snow. Was that last night? Whatever, if it was, bro, if that was last night, man, big shout out to you. Whoever that was, yeah, I smacked on snow today. And I was like, you know what, man, let me try some new shit, I always stick to spy. And obviously, we bank crazy every single day with spy, of course. But, it was more like I had to, man. Look, and then that trigger was so beautiful because it hit in pre-market. So it already tapped. I'm like, all right, bet, because I smooth forgot about it. So I'm like, oh man, if I forget about this, like, I got to get back in. And then look, it broke out, retested that high. So yeah, I'm like I said, I don't want to do too much. I don't want to, you did go back into the casino, and put too much money back in because they already gave us some bread. Literally this whole candle, we just sold it right at the top of the close of that first candle of the day. Got out. I had to, bruh. The one that's pissing me off now, I mean, it's not really doing shit for real, but Microsoft, bruh. This one just, oh shit. When the hell did that motherfucker come back? Because I look, so this is what happened. So I took Microsoft this morning, right? But I took it off the open and I took 2DT. So I keep forgetting that they made everything have like zeros and 1DT, all that shit now. So I wasn't even paying attention. So I seen zero and I'm like, what the fuck? So I click over and I grab the cons. They go like 35%. And then like it gets like a wick and then it pulls back. And I'm like, that little wick. And then I go check and it's like, oh, because somebody asked me, they were like, are you in zeros or weeklies? And I was like, zeros. So then I go look and I'm like, oh shit. So I sold it for 30%, and then I just rolled. And then yeah, I'm underwater on it right now. But like I said, I bought some time on it. So I ain't really tripping for real. Now, oh bro, I heard about now. People on Twitter were talking about now. There's this lady I follow, what her name's like blonde broker or something like that. She always posts like just random stuff. But yeah, I seen now. But the only thing is I just don't like personally, I don't really like trading stuff that has, it's got the breakout because it's like at any moment, look, you see they get that gap right there. At any moment, they could just decide like, all right, it's the top, everybody's chasing it, pull back. So I try not to, like I said, I try not to practice any kind of FOMO. So if I miss it, you miss it. So either way it goes, there's always gonna be something to find. We caught this one, right? So it's like you catch some, you miss the others. That is what it is. But if you're in, I know y'all banking. I know y'all banking. People who swung over the weekends though, that's where the money's at. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Snow is a banger, man. Snow is a banger. Big shout out to y'all, man. Big shout out to y'all. Cause I seen it yesterday when I was on live and y'all were like, hey, somebody was like, Snow, Snow. And then I remember doing this. I said, hold on, I got a little inverse head and shoulder going on. So I was like, hey, as long as it can hold and it'll clear, excuse me, it'll clear Friday's high. I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and get in. So I already got in, and then yeah, like I said, we took our profit. And SPY, okay. So like I said, the main thing, obviously, we're a big SPY trading team and stuff like that. But I just like I said in today's video, like I know downside is limited because like I said, we're in an extremely bullish market. Like you can't look at this and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go extremely heavy swinging puts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm not saying you can't. Obviously, you can do whatever you want, but you always want to. The best place. I mean, the best thing about trading is like obviously you can make money on both sides, but you want to really get the best risk to reward. You feel me? So, oh, is this big? Oh, I gotta make these bigger because I know last time somebody was like the lines are too small, the numbers are too small. Uh. Make them a little bigger for y'all. That way you can at least see them. But yeah, so anything like I said, as long as we can get back above 738, hold, we probably just come right back to the five, right? It's like a magnet. We've been under it for like, well, we got under it at the close of Friday. We kind of teetered around with it mostly, and that's again why Friday when we went live, I was like, hey, be careful on the long side. Like obviously, I'm not saying you can't go long because we still caught money going to the upside, but you know, you know, you to go. Appreciate it, Credit. But yeah, so you still gotta be careful. Remember, look, you got a little right shoulder, a little head, possible left shoulder. So you don't wanna go too crazy. You know what I'm saying? You don't wanna go too crazy just yet. But if you do wanna go ahead and get if you got an early position down here, that's 734. Like I said, you can buy time, but below the 5 day moving average is, it's not a bearish warning, it's all over, but you still just got to be careful of where you are, right? So this is the first day. Well, we closed over it yesterday. So this will be the second day if we close under today. It'll be the second day in a row we close underneath. And if they do want to just chop us, remember we have all this range in between here, right? Anything in between this 730 and 740 roughly, right? So if they do close us back up here and then tomorrow, let's say 5 starts to curl back down, right? And we close, let's say we close roughly right here. Any rejection of that, right? They might just go ahead and come down, push it down here, right? The 731, 730, 730-ish level. Chart pulls, please. Oh yeah, see, kind of the same thing. underneath, but this one's underneath a 20. So this one would have to reclaim both for it to turn bullish. But let's see. Yeah, so obviously, you got your 20-day SMA and then your 5-day moving average. So those is really, really the only moving averages I really use. Every now and then I will use, the 200 every now and then just kind of see where we are intraday. But for the most part, I'm not really too concerned. Let's see. All right, so trend is bullish, obviously. All right, so that's a good step one. Yeah, trend is bullish. Let's get a quick little chart going on. I'm up here in the lounge, so it's super bright, so I can't see. There we go. Let me know if this is too bright for y'all. Yeah, so kind of the same rules, same thing. We kind of got the channel. So, and that's the thing. Remember how we talk about bear traps and stuff like that. So usually when bear traps, like I always say, they always look very real. You'll have a nice trend up, right? There'll be no denying we have a bull trend, and then it'll come take out, maybe one of the recent swing lows, maybe both. It'll kind of do that, and then it'll have this sideways action, kind of like this. But then to know if it's a bear trap or not, right? You look left. So in this case, we'll just use this one just for easy. Yeah, we'll just use this, right? 6.10. So if this is a bear trap, like all you have to do, right? Remember, we get paid to just wait and chill, right? We get paid to do nothing, right? I took a trade this morning. I went to go play basketball. I hoops for like an hour and some change. Came back. I took another trade for 3 minutes, 105%, right? So we're not supposed to just be staring at stuff all day. But if you set alert, right? If it comes back over, right, it'll come back over, squeeze back up, and if we can take out the um the recent swing low and swing high right over here, right, then it'll just come back up and take out the high, right, and then it'll just be continuation, right? Because you remember, even in bull markets, we need pullbacks, right? We need that. We need that shit because it's just, it's healthy. You don't want to just trade some shit doing this, or like little pullback. You know what I'm saying? You want something to at least have like a decent size. That way we can at least go heavy. You know what I'm saying? Well, not go heavy. I'm not saying like go any crazier than you normally would, but just, a little bit more confident in the play where you're kind of like, all right, I can kind of sit back and just, chill and let this one play out. So yeah, see SPY doing the same thing, ain't really nothing going on. Yeah, ain't really nothing going on. It's a crazy part that we're still above that 735. Like this wants to go lower, this is where, okay, how we just talked about bull traps, I mean bear traps, you also have bull traps. It's basically would be the same thing. So if this is a bull trap on the smaller time frame, right? You said we have it's going down. If the Oh no, actually they already played one out. I think, yeah, this is when we bought, right? So you have the trend, it's going lower, and then it comes and sweeps, right? Takes out right where that swing high is or that swing low, and then smacks it, right? So this is the perfect example of a bull trap. But even though, like I said, even though it's bull traps and stuff like that on the smaller time frame, you still make sure you zoom out, right? Take a step back. So always gotta, especially if you're having those moments where you're kind of like, what are we doing, right? What am I doing? What am I in? What do you know what I'm saying? You have those moments, everybody has them, especially when you're too hyper focused on the smaller time frames, right? And this is why I said I'll look at the one, obviously, just, kind of see what's going on, but I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, we gotta, you know, 1 minute this, so I'm gonna do this. No, no, no. You gotta make sure you zoom out and have enough time to, at least give yourself time to be right or wrong. You gotta see everything play out. It's not just gonna instantly go to your level, instantly go here, instantly, you know what I'm saying? It takes all this stuff takes time. It's a stock market, it's not what's my guy's name? Warren Buffett. He said stock market is a device used for transferring money from the impatient to the patient, right? So once you kind of realize that you get paid more by doing nothing, then it becomes a little easier, right? People who try to force the trades, or if you're chasing the money itself, it's gonna force you to make bad decisions because your brain's gonna be like, damn, well, if this goes up here, then I could make $1,000, and then you take the trade just because your brain's telling you what you possibly could and couldn't do. So yeah, you always got to kind of make sure you check that emotion, right? Just because it's just gonna be it ruins people, right? I don't know how many accounts when I first started trading, bro. I used to blow my account like, bro, it was damn near like every other week, bro. Like, it was terrible. I'd just be doing stuff like it'd be something like this, right? But there's not really any clear direction yet, and I still would be like, all right, well, let me see. We got a little 1 minute double top right here. You know what I'm saying? I would try to just force something to happen just because nothing was happening, right? And like I said, you look at this. we're really not doing much, right? We got a little dip back here, but we right back in the range, right? So if it does want to go lower, like I said, we know what to look for, right? Get back underneath 735 and then roll back to that 731, right? So if that does not happen, right? And remember, we inside of this channel, right? Inside of the channel, the selling channel, but we have officially broke out of it, right? Got a nice breakout. So now this is either consolidation or a trap, right? It's either going to consolidate, right? Breakout, retest, and then push over, or it's not, right? And it's gonna go sideways, and we don't diddle in the middle, right? We don't diddle in the middle. So yeah, SPY is pretty simple, man. Pretty cut and dry. It's not really much going on for real, for real. It's my other chart. This is the chart I use for my big time frames, my 4 hour. And I have different charts for different stuff because you need them. You need to have fresh perspectives on what you're trading. You can't just only look at one thing and be like, all right, because then you'll start to develop a bias without you even knowing it, right? If I have one chart on I only look at it on the 5 minute. If I see 5 minute at the bottom, my brain, you know what I'm saying? I only look at this chart for small time frames. It's gonna convince me to do stuff that I probably shouldn't do, right? And even if, like I said, even if you're right a few times, you still don't want to just build bad habits, right? You want to make sure that you're being smart, being focused, taking trades that make sense. All right, yeah, 4 hour. So see how we're kind of like in the top of this range. And this is, if you go back and watch any of my YouTube videos, right? Any video I've ever made, as far like as concerning this whole pump, I've always talked about this here. Make this darker. Change the color. There we go. I've talked about this here, right? All this whole yellow, right? Consolidated, dump, and then right back in it, right? And then I already talked about how well, I didn't know, but we could assume that the market was going to top between 745 and 750, and it did, right? It did perfect. I didn't short it because we didn't get the chance. They gapped it down overnight, which is frustrating because even in the video the day before, right? I was like, bro, if they give us that back under 746, slam it. And then literally pre-market, they're already there. I'm like, ugh. Right. The easy shorts, easy plays are always gonna be, you know, it's gonna be frustrating because sometimes if it's just so easy, like, oh, bro, this is a cakewalk. Like everyone knows psychological levels, they always do, like, they always get you like right before. If it's a stock at $95 and everyone's waiting for it to go to 100, that should probably go like 99.4, and it should just, what I'm saying, just dump or some shit. But you have to expect the unexpected for real. That shit sounds super mysterious. Expect the unexpected. But yeah, no. So yeah, remember, we, like I said, we do have this possible head and shoulders. So any rejection, even if they wick us right here, and then we get a red body bar like this, you got to be very careful. All right, you don't want to get caught in these kind of moves. So it's best to just take a step back, right? Or like I said, if you believe, okay, cool, we're bottoming here, buy time. That's what I do. If I already smacked here, then if I'm thinking, hey, this is gonna be a trap or whatever it's gonna be, you can just buy time. And then if it starts to go in your direction, you can always add into the position, right? And then you have your targets, right? You have your targets Friday's high, you have the gap up here at 740, you know what I'm saying? So you have those targets in mind. So you're not necessarily putting too much risk on yourself. But yeah, what other what was the now news for the pump? I honestly don't know. I don't know. I've never even heard of it until I saw it on Twitter yesterday. The lady was talking about it, and then I seen people in the chat talking about it. But I don't even know what this is. Service now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that man, that shit sucks though. Whenever you see like beautiful plays like this, did you see the weekly bullish fair value gap? Find 7 25. Weekly bullish fair value gap. Nah, I don't use fair value gaps and all that stuff. I um I don't have anything personally against it. I just don't personally think it works for my style of trading. I think when it comes to trying different strategies and stuff like that, I think a lot of people will use stuff that they kind of see on YouTube and stuff like that. But sometimes it might work, and sometimes it might not work. Something, and like I said, I don't like to load myself up with too many strategies, too much this, too much that. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather just stick to the support resistance and just keep it simple. It's worked in the past, it's worked now. All right, let me check the chain real quick. What time is it? 12:30? Okay. Okay. Oh, my Microsoft's back. That's good. If y'all, well, obviously not financial advice, but if you were in Microsoft and you did get Microsoft after me, you could possibly get a better feel here. I'm not gonna lie, right? And then of course we target. You already know what to target, right? So like I said, I'm in Friday's calls, so not financial advice. You do you, But if you were one of those people yesterday who talked to me about Microsoft, I like it. 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 Multiple reasons why. Let's go over it real quick. Right. First things first. Boom. Bullish momentum. Flag. Remember, consolidation leads to expansion. Now, whether we consolidate and expand to the upside or the downside, obviously we don't know for 100% fact, right? So obviously we're just using the best risk to reward, right? Best risk reward says, hey, as long as we hold this channel, right? The flag, I guess you could call it, as long as we hold it and we can clear, highs, clear the highs, then by that it should do this, right? So if this, then that. So obviously, like I said, nothing's 100% in trading. If it was, I would package it up and I would sell it to y'all for a subscription. You know what I'm saying? If I could just be like, oh yeah, this works every day, all the time, I'd do that, but it's not, it don't work like that. What strike from Microsoft are you in? I'm in Friday's 440s. Yeah, Friday's 440s. It was cheap, and then I didn't want to I we usually trade SPY over here, so I didn't want to go, too crazy. And then plus, like I said, I bought an earlier position, the 430s, but I bought them for 2 days out. I wasn't paying attention. So when they shot up real quick, I was like, oh, this is crazy. So I sold some, and then I just ended up getting back in. So this is my second spin. But what was my ask? Oh, how did you get the level? Oh, for seven, which one? You talking about the 720 or 730? Well, I guess either way, it's the same thing. Hold on. I just made this chart like 2 days ago. Yeah, so all I did basically was just find, key levels. Key levels, you got your daily levels, right? And then I have my hourly, my 4 hour levels, you know what I'm saying? So you just kind of you use those levels to kind of, get a bigger picture on things. And then look, so we also have the, like I said, we have the 20-day. So as long as we can, we'll probably trend chop whatever. Because even now, right, this here, if they fail, right, and we can't, like I said, we cannot get back above that five, then we're just gonna roll down, right? And then we'll probably roll down, and it could take forever. It could be a simple one candle dump, chop down or something like that. Or like I said, it could just be like a one of these, right? And that's pretty boring. So I mean, like I said, you can catch these moves from here. It's down, but like I said, the downside is limited, right? Because remember, we have to see bigger picture. Hold on, let's zoom out real quick. Right? So we have to see the bigger picture, right? And just because this is the first, red candle on the weekly, like I'm not just gonna pile in and be like, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Like we did play puts, we played puts, we got 105%. What more do what more do you want? I was just joking. I was just looking at the weekly and same channel. It's very regular. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like that's the cool part about trading. Like everybody has their, their thing that they like to do. Some people use only fibs, some people use this shit, I still always wonder what this is. Every time I see it, I'm like, what the hell is this? Like there's so many different tools that people could use to, get the same outcome. So, but I just, like I said, I like to keep it as simple as possible. Like I tell all my students, like, look, you can trade however you want, but you still want to keep it super simple. You don't want to go too heavy in any one position just because I'm not any one strategy that doesn't work one time, right? You don't want to just be like, oh, it doesn't work one time, and then you strategy hop and then you strategy hop and you keep switching strategies, and then eventually you know a lot about nothing for real, So it's better to just find what works for you. And like I said, I like simple support resistance, right? Breakout retest is it. You can't get more simpler than that, right? Either we're going to reject, right, or we're going to bounce, right? And anything in the middle, I don't fuck with. So yeah, just keep it simple. And like I said, yeah, be very careful of this. Actually, let's make it darker. So that way you'll be able to see at least the bottom. All right. Yeah, so this is kind of where we've been in. So remember, we're not out the woods yet. That's why I said we have to break over, retest, and then we'll be, but we're still in it now. That's why I said it can be a slow chop down. And this is another reason why I said, hey, if you're gonna play shorts, either you gotta take that profit quick or, buy time. Like if okay, your 20-day SMAs down here. If that's what your game plan is, right? If you played the rejection and that's your game plan, then it'd be easier to you to buy some time just in case, right? Because you can get candles like this, right, where you do get that move, but for people who did not take their profit fast, I was in and out 3 minutes, 3 minutes, three literally minutes. Let me see. Yeah, I was in the trade for 3 minutes, and that was it. That's it. Like, I'm in. I got my 105%. Yeah, 3 minutes. 12:26, 12:29. That's it. I left the little runner smacked. I said, hey, got out of that, got out of that jam. Just because, like I said, you don't know for sure what's gonna happen. But you still this the market gives you clues, of course, as far as what's going on. So if you know that the market's gonna at least tell you something, why not just wait on it, right? Like I always tell everybody, imagine we're playing well, that was terrible. Imagine we're playing what's the shit? Wheel of Fortune, right? And they give you a word. They're like, all right, boom, you gotta spin, right? You gotta no one's just gonna guess off top. Like you're not gonna be like, uh, stop. You're not gonna guess what it is. You're gonna wait for, you know, you're gonna wait for the market to start spelling something out, right? Okay, cool. And then as the market gives you these clues, now the picture becomes clear, right? So same rules apply. Like when you're trading, you don't just want to, oh, well, I don't know what's going on. Nah, wait for it to paint you a picture, right? And then once you start to see the outline, you're like, okay, oh, okay, I could possibly see head and shoulders. Oh, okay, I could possibly see a breakdown, read it, right? I can see, so you can't do that if the market just opened and you have one candle, so be patient with it. Zoom out, right? Don't be too so zoomed in. That 1 minute shit people be selling on YouTube, bro. I don't believe that shit at all. No one will ever convince me that they're 100% profitable trading on the 1 minute chart at open. I refuse to believe it. You have to prove that to me, man. I hate to say it, but yeah, I hate those videos where they're like, this is the strategy I use to make my first $1 million trading the first 5 minutes of the day. That shit cap. That shit cap, bro. That's literally some of the worst shit you ever could do. Obviously, you can catch nice moves and scalps, but yeah, I would never tell a new trader, hey, look, what you want to do is you want to trade the most volatile. Nah, bro, I'm not gonna tell you to do that. I'm gonna tell you to wait for a setup, whatever the setup says. If we open, let's say we open at support, right? And we had a bounce in pre-market and we just came down to it, cool. You can get started on a position, right? But you never want to just go right in, gung ho and just start doing stupid shit just because, you know, you see a move possibly happening, right? See, look, we've already gotten rid of that 30. So now we can actually start looking at a few shorts. Um, like I said, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna go too crazy. But let's see. How much time does this candle have in it? Oh, never mind, never mind, never mind. Scratch that. I didn't see that. My microphone's right here. We got 20 minutes left in this candle. Oh yeah, nah. I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool. I thought this shit was just about to close. And I was like, okay, cool. We can get this rejection out of here. Yeah, 20 minutes. I'm cool on that. Especially like I said, man, we already agreed on the day. There's no real need for me to try to force this trade to happen. Even though, like I said, it does look good, right? Erase that 30 minute, right? As long as you stand at 736, you do have that 734. But like I said, you don't want to just be overly bearish just because you get a little red 30-minute candle, especially in this market, man. I've seen so many times. My very first bull market that I started trading in, I couldn't understand how like out of nowhere the market would just go back up and I'd be like, bro, what the hell? Like it looks so good to the downside. And then when I would play short, I would get these like drip. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm so used to, because when I first started like learning how to trade and teaching myself how to trade, it was during like, a little bearish 6 month season. So I only knew like puts, like just play puts and this shit it would pay me so fast. And I puts do pay pretty fast, they do, especially if you get a good move. But I had to start realizing that damn, like there's always gonna be a position for me to get in, but I still don't want to just aggressively fight the trend for no reason, right? If we start to lose, where we at now? Yeah, see, we're under Friday's low. So as long as we're under Friday's low, like I can have a plan. Like, okay, cool. We attempted this, and this. If we roll back down, I already know what to look for, right? This and this. But you need to have a game plan because I would just be doing shit, and it really sucks, man, when you don't have that guidance, no one to tell you like, hey, stop fighting the trend. So I'm gonna be that voice for y'all. If there is a short position for us to take, we will catch it. Trust me. We caught this one. This one was very, very simple, right? We had the initial rejection, breakdown, retest. It was a very simple trade, right? Wasn't too hard. Didn't really have to think about it much. We had a target, right? Then that was it. Right? We had a little breakdown, retest, underneath, bang, right? And then that was that, right? I was in, I was out. Seeing it 3 minutes, in, out, in, out. Because like I said, I'm not gonna be the person who gets caught trying to fight the trend. You know, it can, and I'm fine with that. If the market goes down without me, if it goes to 724, I will be right there with a bag full of cash, ready to buy it up. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, Microsoft. Okay, yeah, if you took Microsoft, yeah, you straight for real. You straight for real. Trying to see the chat. All right, drop me some more tickers. What y'all in? What y'all wanna trade? Oh, let me go over Nvidia real quick. I think I seen somebody talking about Nvidia. Mm-mm-mm. Oh yeah, somebody was like, yeah, Nvidia dumped $10. I'm like, yes. I need Nvidia to come down, bro. I ain't gonna lie. All right, where we at? Last Nvidia trade I took was uh which one did I take? I think I had the 230s. Yeah, I think this is the last day, and then it gapped up. Oh yeah, because I sold right here. I sold at the top of that, right at pre-market. I sold, and then it ended up running. But I was in SPY, so I wasn't really tripping. But okay, Nvidia. All right, just giving it a few levels. I'm gonna play some music on this TV, bro. It's dead quiet in here. Yeah, we'll just use these for now. Nvidia has earnings though. That's the only messed up part. Damn now, bro. Yeah, this is crazy. I wish Snow would have ran like this. Yeah, look at that. I forget he's pushing. But yeah, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not. I'm not touching it. I don't. I think I've beat the feeling mostly of FOMO. Obviously, I still get it, but I don't. Once you start to see what the market can do on any given day, like you really don't. Oscar, Oscar, Oscar Health. Everything, all the health stuff is getting a little. How y'all feel about the what is it called? The Henta virus or something like that? What's it called? The Henta virus. I tell you what though, if they virus us again with the shutdown, oh bruh, make sure y'all buy all the same ones that took off during COVID. Pelotons, bleach, I'm not bleach, Clorox, like all the companies, all the cleaning shit, like all the good stuff. Hold on one second. Gotta make sure the audio's still good. I should be cutting in and out. All right. Yeah. Oh, whiskey. Yeah, this is kind of so look, this is kind of what I want Microsoft to do, right? It kind of has that same setup, right? We have a somewhat of a little flag, a little flag going on with the bullish move, right? So if we can get continuation, right, it should still go up. But yeah, this one is you want to like I said, you don't chase moves, but you wait for a pullback. So whenever you do get a pullback on this, right, as long as it holds certain levels, right? If they want to keep pushing, let me see where the next uh oh, this is the weekly. Oh, this has been going on for. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was the daily. Oh yeah, what? This has been going crazy. 123% in 56 days. Damn, this is like SPY. This motherfucker been pushing. Uh. All right, yeah, we'll use this. There you go. Extendo. Excuse me. All right, yeah. So now you already got a little completed cup. Well, not all the way, but a little cup and handle. But what's this all-time high? Bro, it's so bright. I'm kind of like I can't really see my screen. 37? Yeah, I think this would be one of the ones you buy and hold. Or if you do trade options on this, you just some shit. You definitely gotta buy some time on. Uh. Yeah. I low key, man, I I'm not gonna lie. I hate and I always tell my students like, hey, when it comes to zero DTs, like save that until you get a lot more comfortable with how contracts move and you get better at analysis and stuff like that. Because zero DTs, they can definitely make you some bread, but they can screw you bad, right? Like everyone who let's go to SPY, for example, right? Everyone who wanted SPY to just go down on Friday, right? If they were only in zeros, I mean, yeah, they probably, if they held all day to the very, very end. But if you're in Robinhood, they closes at 2:30. So if you didn't get the move you wanted, if you tried to buy at lower day or you bought like here, you got absolutely cooked, right? But if you bought time, right, then you possibly could have made the money today. So obviously zero DTEs have a special place in my heart, of course. But I always tell my students like, hey, don't just start off trading zero DTEs, right? Start with, buying time because you need to see how it runs, right? You need to see how it makes you feel. The, that's DraftKings. What's DraftKings? D King. There you go. Oh, we got a nice little cup of hand on here too. Let me see. All right. Oh yeah, I traded this before. Yeah, way over here. Yeah, yeah. This is forever ago. Yeah, I was basically just playing this little channel. Caught the bottom. I think I held it for like 2 days, and that was it. I was like, all right. I be getting scared, bro. Anytime I play some random stuff that I don't normally like or I don't normally play, like even with Tesla, I'm just like, ugh, like I have a love hate relationship with Tesla. I've made the most money ever with Tesla, but I've also lost the most money with Tesla because I was trading it when I was still so young in my trading journey that I didn't understand how just volatile Tesla really is. Oh, this is nice. You might actually be getting in early on this. Oh yeah, above the EMAs too. I mean, above the SMAs, buying pressure there. Oh yeah, this is decent. If you're already in, um, that's tough. But yeah, 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 for sure. I'm gonna put this on my watch list. Appreciate this. Yeah, I'm gonna push this on my watch list, and I'm gonna go over this probably later tonight. Yeah, I want to see how this closes. And like I said, this is the weekly, so I'm definitely looking for like buying some time on this. But hell yeah, man, this don't look too bad. And especially with all the gambling shit that's going on, all the NBA sponsored by Prize Picks, like all this. Yeah, so DraftKings, man, hey, they one of the OGs when it comes to gambling and stuff like that. So, gambling's like damn near the future, but I mean it's sad. It's really sad because they're starting early, they're teaching the kids the gamble, it's just it's bad. But, you know, I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of shit out there that's evil that we partake in. So it is what it is. And plus, I ain't gonna lie, I got in to come some slips right now. I'm gonna put in some slips as soon as the market closed. Uh, but yeah, I like this. I like this. You could target that 27 already. But yeah, this is something I would either buy shares on, buy a fuck ton of shares, or I would play leaps. I play like a little further out with these, just because you need that. You need that time for something like this. Let me see. Yeah, Oscar, we looked at that. Yeah, you just gotta let that motherfucker go. But yeah, you should expect a pullback in between where it is now and right here. So yeah, roughly in between here and here, you should expect some sort of pullback. And yeah, on the pullback, if it does hold the zone, right, then you can buy more, right? As long as we break back over that high, continue, and you just play it like that. Are you targeting 428 for Microsoft? I keep forgetting about that. I keep forgetting I'm in. Terrible. Let me see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look at this, man. This is beautiful. So yeah, as long as we can just clear this high, right? As long as we can clear that weekly high, then I have, bro, it's so dark. These screens look so much more brighter in my apartment. Yeah. And at 435, it'll be smooth. There we go. Made it a little better. But yeah, you see that, man? You see that? Look, it had one, two, three, four, five. Well, this would be the fifth week of consolidation. So remember, consolidation leads to expansion. Consolidation, expansion. So whenever you see sideways action and chop, like even on SPY, right? When you see chop and sideways and this, and this, don't panic, don't freak out, don't get frustrated. Like, oh, what the hell, this shit ain't doing nothing, blah, blah, blah. No, that's good because remember, look, when we had all those days of sideways consolidation, where is it at? Right before we broke out last. Yeah, right over here. After that move, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's officially topping out." Like, okay, Spy's not gonna. And this is when it just broke 700 too. So everybody was like, "Oh, it's not gonna go much higher." We consolidated, right? We went sideways, but it was cool. One, because it already gave us established levels. We knew where our support was. We knew where resistance was. I mean, vice versa. We knew where our resistance was. We knew where our support was, and all we had to do really is just play the consolidation, right? You can play it either way. You could either wait until it actually broke out, or like I said, you just stick with the trend and buy time. Whenever it came support, you just buy time, sell into the rips, right? But the easiest way and the best way to do it is just wait, just wait. So we've got the consolidation, and the consolidation, right? It held double bottom, and then boom, consolidation led to super crazy expansion, right? So consolidation is not a bad thing. Sideways movement is not a bad thing. But if you get caught in it, just because we all get caught in chop at some point, you just want to be like, oh, wait a second, hold on, we're not going nowhere. Kind of like Friday, how we just Literally, we went sideways, right? And then we finally got a fake out, right? We got the breakout, but no retest. Remember, we had the zone the first 15 minutes of the day, right? The very first candle of the day. This is all you had to do is play that zone. Actually, hold on, 15. Yeah, open to close, right? And this is another way to play things if you're still fairly new to figuring out levels, especially if we keep going to all-time highs. It's gonna get harder to trade all-time highs because, like I said, well, nah, I don't want to say that. It probably won't be harder, but it'll be more difficult if you're newer, to trading because we don't have levels, right? When in doubt, zoom out, right? Want to know what's next? Look left, right? Look left. What happened here? What we do here? That's how you usually trade it. But when we do have, those levels where we're like, all right, like we look left and ain't shit there, those are the ones where you want to be like, all right, I need to do something. So what I like to do is I'll just draw a box around the first like 15-minute candle of the day. This one was pretty big. And I played the initial bounce off the bottom. As soon as it hit the top, boom. That was pretty much our only main trade for the day. And then we waited and then we caught this right here. But look, as long as it's inside that daily range or whatever range, you can use this for the you can use this for 5 minutes. I mean the 15, 30, whatever. I wouldn't go too low, obviously, but the higher up the better it is. But if you have a range established, once you break out, you either just wait for the retest or you play the failure, the rejection, right? And that's what we did. So we broke back in, beautiful breakdown, retest, right? And these are 15-minute candles. So there was no panic, there was no oh man, oh man. Only thing I was mad about if y'all traded with me live on Friday is that I couldn't get filled on those 7420s fast enough. I don't know what's going on with Webull, but I cannot get filled. I ended up getting filled. I still got 230%. So we still caught a banger on live. But bro, I was pissed. I was like, bro, beautiful breakout, retest, dump all the way to the bottom of the range, right? And we knew where to target, right? Because we were just sideways bound, right? We didn't really do much. Fake, right? So it was super simple. That was a super simple one. And like I said, it's just the more simple you make it, the more simpler it'll be, right? If you complicate everything, it's gonna be complicated, and that's on you. We're all seeing the same stuff. We're all looking at the same charts. We're all looking at the same candles. So, are you? Oh no, you already looked at that. Are you targeting 428? Yeah, I just want this to clear. That's all I want. I just want it to clear. It looked good though. It went from all time high. But yeah, 428 be the first target for sure. Um, which one is this? DraftKings. Clutch with SPX call. What you think? I don't know what he's looking for specifically, but yeah, I mean, he Clutch knows how to trade, so that boy goaded. He's probably bro. He'd be killing it with the swings. I ain't lying, really going crazy. But I'm not personally gonna take any more zero DTs for now. I'd rather wait till power hour and see first because remember, like I said, be very careful. We do have a possibility, not saying it's happening, but a very possible um head and shoulders. So I would need to see this 738 first, right? 738 clears first, then I'll be okay with pushing back up to the upside. But y'all know how I do. I only trade SPX in the day, right? I only do SPX in the day because it's so much better. If you spend all day trying to trade SPX, right? So let's say you took SPX, let's say you took calls, you're instantly red, right? Let's say you took puts, now you're instantly red. You know what I'm saying? Like SPX, yes, they do pay you more, but that risk, right? People forget about the risk. Whenever you take a trade, you should always measure your risk. If I'm knowing, hey, I want this to go up, I'm not gonna just blindly buy because oh well, it could do this. Yeah, but what about all of this, right? What about your downside? So you need to have a plan. So with SPX, it moves too fast. Especially zero DTs, and then buying time with SPX is too fucking expensive. I'm not spending $4,000 on a contract. I'm just not doing that shit, right? But like I said, if you're rich as fuck already and you got a $250,000 account, like yeah, it won't mean nothing to you. But if you're in the 10 to 30,000 range, like a lot of normal traders, like then it becomes more of a should I put 30% of my account to this SPX $3,000 call, especially if you want to be safe and buy time, if you're swinging them. But the best way to do it is just wait to the end of the day, right? The end of the day contracts, we bought them, they were $60 a pop. Sold them for like 240, right? $60 a pop. That is easy bread, right? Easy bread. Or even better, the ones that I call out on live, the 7420s. Those were $100 a pop. Remember, we were looking at them. They're $100 a pop. They ended up going over, I think, like 11, 1200. So why would I take that risk earlier in the day? and I'd rather just take that risk at the end of the day. It's just, it just makes more sense that way, especially if we don't have a trend already established. Trying to catch a reversal, yes, I mean, I do see this, right? Inverse head and shoulders. It looks amazing. And like I said, I'm bullish. I keep telling you, I'm not planning to go too crazy on the shorts. That don't mean I won't play them. Clearly, I just did, but I need to see some levels fail first. You know what I'm saying? I need to see us not get back above, or even if we do, I need to see a failure. You know what I'm saying? I need to see something more than just, you know, what we're currently seeing now. And that's why I said, like, if you do want to go long, I would suggest buying time, right? We have a gap above at, was it 747? Where is that at? 747.40, and then we have all-time high 749. So yeah, if you want to go long, obviously with this, beautiful downtrend that we're currently in, eventually it'll pop, right? It just hasn't popped yet. So until we get out of this channel, I just don't want to go too crazy. So um, you could buy like Friday two 750s. You know what I'm saying? You could buy like, yeah, like two DTE 745 because we got a gap there. But remember, we're still underneath that five as well, right? And that five is sitting right here. We rejected it all day yesterday. Nice pop, and then boom, came right back down. So the market ain't liking that right now. So I'm not gonna try to force it. Remember, we can't make the market do whatever we want. The market does what it wants. We just catch a little piece of the pie. So I'm not looking for um the calls just yet. Like I said, everybody has their own game plan. I don't know what he's looking for. That's his trade, that's his thing. But yeah, me personally, no, I'm not looking for that just yet. Especially because it's not late enough for me to play SPX yet. I need at SPX. Y'all know how we do. We catch the SPX when it's like 45 minutes left in the day, man. 30 minutes left in the day. The closer to the end, the better. Because you catch one, the risk is small as hell. You're paying the same amount for a spy contract for SPX, but the upside, you get one wick in your direction. That shit is, especially towards the end of the day, right? And then, like I said, other side of it, risk. If I lose $60 or I lose $100, who cares? I'm not risking anything that I'm like, oh, I can't. My heart's beating fast. Nah, I really don't care that much. So if I take SPX end of day, I'm up, very decent. We're green every day this month so far. So yeah, I'm not like, you know, trying to risk that. I'm trying to keep that win streak alive. So yeah, I'll wait because, like I said, if we do get this weird, slow little move back up, and then by 2 o'clock we fake everybody out, that shit's gonna come down, right? It's gonna come down hard. Not saying they're gonna do it on us. I'm saying it'll, it might be overnight. It could be anything, but this is not. Um, we're obviously, like I said, we're in a bullish uptrend. Of course, right? That's easy to tell, right? But the scary part is we got this little, right, breakdown, retest. We haven't went lower yet, so that's why I'm still like, hey, avoid the shorts just yet. It ain't time to go short just yet, right? We already caught the first short, but look, we're instantly bullish right back above. So, like I said, I'm always wanting to go up. It's easier. It's easier to trade that way, right? You just buy calls, let that shit go up, right? This shit banks, especially if you know where to catch your dip buys, right? Obviously, you can't just blindly close your eyes and throw some calls on there, right? This is not how it works most of the time. But yeah, see, our major daily level, remember, over 735, 736, I'm fucking with it. But like I said, I'm just not gonna do zeros. I'm not gonna do SPX. I'd probably buy like I said, 750s for far out, right? And if we do get this, right, we hold. That's what I'll do. I'll play it then. But like I said, if you're green on the day, there's no real need to take another risk, another risk, another risk, right? If you made money, walk away. It's all about compounding, especially if we're in between levels. I could see if the market was just giving us banger after banger, like, oh, we got a little dip buy, we got a trend, we got this. Like, if we had that kind of day, for sure, you stick around, come get you some good stuff like this, like perfect. All right. You had a nice breakdown, retest, short to the bottom off that, held, right? Cool, boom, add in, right? You add to the position, nice little flag here, boom, right? Add to the position, like that. I understand, like taking multiple trades, taking many trades, but if we're going sideways, we barely moved today. I'm not gonna be the person. Like I said, I'm. You can do what you want to do. I'm not gonna be the person to be like, yeah, I'm gonna I just banked here, here, and here. I'm gonna do it one more time, especially not with SPX. I'm not doing that. But yeah, like I said, do what you want. Everybody has looking for different things, so it's all part of the game. But yeah, see, bearish pin bar right above. Nah, I'm not taking that. I'm not taking those longs. No longs for me until we break back above this. And if we don't break back above today, like I said, we will just probably come down. and that's fine. I'm not swinging that shit. I'm not fucking with it. I can't do it, man. It's not part of my game plan. If it's part of your game plan, go ahead. Like I said, buy some time, you know, because the fucked up part is like whenever we have these moves, right? Like the oh, where'd it go? Oh, I'm like, where the hell did it go? I gotta change these colors. Mm, I'm like, what the hell? I can't see shit. There we go. But yeah, the scary part is like whenever you do go, short in the bull market, that shit can be scary. Like remember I was talking about Friday, like, hey, if you want to go short, like you could, but buy time, right? Because you fuck around and try to swing some shit, and then you get something like this right before market opens, you'd be like, you know, and it's super bullish. So I'm like, yeah, I'm scared of that. But yeah, y'all know what I'm looking for. Breakdown, retest. Boom. 20 is right here. So 20 probably come up. We'll hit it probably not today. That's a big drop for today. But yeah, we're below all our key major supports, right? Remember? Bang, bang, right? When in doubt, look left, right? Bang, 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 bang. We're below that. So no calls. I'm not fucking with the calls. Let's see. Where's the low? Okay, low of day is 734. Okay, yeah. So, and again, this is what I mean. Like, no trade, cash is still a position. Because if you tried, let's say you saw this, you tried puts, you got fucked. Let's say you tried calls, you got fucked again. Oh, you tried puts, you keep getting screwed, right? Every time. And just now, oh, I'm gonna try some calls. Biggest red candle, right? That's why I said don't. I'm not in that. All right, I'm not fucking with that. Why? Because we're just ranging. We're not going anywhere, right? Nothing is happening. If anything, this is a bear trap. I mean, a bull trap. Remember how we just talked about it? We just said, hey, the same. Wow, would you look at that? We just said if this is a bull trap, it's gonna do the same thing that bear traps do. You have a trend, you come up, sweep the swing, smack, right? And that's literally what happened right now. But yeah, I really hope that if they do get the move, I bet just gap it down overnight. It'd be so much easier, right? Because this price action down, it's like, bro, the slowest. Like this. This was simple. Just gap that shit down, right? Support, right? It is what it is. We bullshit it for a little while. Wasn't much shit to do, and that was that. I wasn't really doing too much. Oh shit, what I do? There we go. But yeah, see that? I hope I just saved you guys from buying calls. Um, you know, and if you did buy puts, make sure you're taking your money, right? Each level to level, right? To level to level, because you have to. And then remember, that's what runners are for, right? And then you can always get back in, right? I'm never just gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna hold full, and then especially if I'm going against the trend. Like if it's calls, yeah, I don't really mind because we're bullish. But if we're, downside is limited, like if I play them, I'm still gonna hold, but I'm just gonna trim. Okay, cool. We smack that level. All right, I'm gonna trim. We come down here, I'll trim some more, right? And if we break back below, I can either sell my zeros and roll, right? And then look for that, 1 to 2 DTEs to the 730s, or I could just sell everything, right? And just wait completely. So there's always ways to go about it when it comes to getting either side, but it really just depends up to you. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not personally looking for that, but you can, but yeah, 735 is gonna be the main wall to watch. So anything above that, just be careful, right? Even with this, like I said, if you took the shorts, then go ahead and take that money. But you see something like this, like even if you were playing zeros, that right there would already be, you'll be like up 100%. That little wick would bring you 70, just like that. So you could sell, right? And then if you get that rejection here, you buy time buy time. And then that way, if the move doesn't happen, right? Let's say you buy time and it just stops right here and it stalls and it stalls. It's fine because you're in no rush to, make that profit back. You just kind of take it and you go from there. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it. But let me check on our baby real quick. This is the only one I care about. It's the only one I'm in right now. It's the only one I care about. Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft chilling. We broke back that high day, so that's good. Um, Yeah. So yeah, we broke past that high day, so it'll be easier for this one. So we basically all you do is gotta do is get back above, then boom, target same one, 428, right? Any downside risk, I wouldn't want to see it, but like I said, we have till Friday, so I wouldn't be too mad unless that shit came all the way back down. Then you gotta take that out. But if you have time, it's cool. You buy a couple weeks out, by this week, by next week, whatever. But yeah, as long as this holds by the end of the day or whatever, or even if it doesn't, tomorrow, if we get back above, push, right? I'm not really too concerned about it, especially this, right? This is a beautiful little breakout, retest into the falling wedge too. Yeah, I'm fucking with that. I'm fucking with that for real. DraftKings. Oh yeah, see, it's starting to get a little pullback. There it goes. Whoo. See, told y'all. Head, shoulder, bang. So yeah, I hope I saved y'all from buying SPX calls. 'Cause if you did, yeah, you just got absolutely cooked. Yeah, and see, look, remember I told y'all we're still inside this channel. So even though we're bullish, we're still inside this, right? We're still inside this major selling channel, which is fine, right? It's cool if they wanna give us this and then give us this and finally come down and tap that 20. The 20 is where I said you saved me. I'm glad, bro. Yeah, I'm glad. I don't know. Yeah, you said that I was like calls kind of crazy, but yeah. And this is what I mean too. Like, even though, we didn't take calls, but we also didn't take puts, it's fine. Because either way, towards the end of the day, either we will get a move, possibly swing something, or we just won't, right? But we're already green, so you don't want to just keep playing with the markets and keep, giving that profit back. Because if you're already up, then that is the goal, right? To compound gains. So every single day we make money. The point is to compound that. This is not the casino. I gamble by playing prize picks. I'm gonna gamble tonight when the game come on, right? That's when I gamble. But in here, not no gambling, right? We had the bearish move, consolidation, right? No reversal, just consolidation. Now, if it wants to go next leg, consolidation leads to what? Expansion. So if it consolidates, we'll just get the next leg. And like I told y'all at the beginning of the day, watch for downside 733. That's going to be the main level to watch. So we almost tapped it right here, probably off like 15 cents. No matter. But yeah, if we do continue lower, just watch that 733, 731, right? And then, like I said, the 728, 724. 724 is the line in the sand. We go below that, you gotta be, and we don't recover, you gotta be careful because that blow off top might be a little bit more serious than we thought, right? But I mean, as long as you zoom out, look at where we are, I mean, ain't really too much to be worried about, honestly. But yeah, so in between here, if we do come all the way back down here, yeah, you got to be a little careful because obviously, like I said, we could just be one big giant breakout retest and roll. You know what I'm saying? Because bull trends, we don't know how long this could last. It could last for 6 months. It could last for 1 month, right? It could be just liquidity trap. It could be anything. So you just got to be prepared. Did you check out that Cavs Piston game last night? Man, James Harden trash as hell. He the only one who sold my slips. Pissed me off. But now, yeah, I went to the um. Oh, let me see. Let me see. Oh yeah. See, and then look at the 4 hour too. Like, look at the 4 hour. This shit is not doing anything. Like, it's not really doing shit for real. Especially if you're only looking at candle open and closures. Look, turn off the wicks for a second. What have we done? Nothing, right? If anything, we've gotten a breakdown, retest, right? So if anything, the next 2 hours, we might actually come down. And honestly, I might even take a little scalp to the downside. Let's see, what's this low at? 733. Oh yeah, that's $2 away. I might take a little 733. Yeah, that might be decent. Yeah, that might be decent. Hold on, let me see. Mm-mm-mm. Can't see my middle line. Yeah. Oh, that shit might come down quickly. I saved all y'all from buying them calls. Yeah, bro. Y'all gotta be careful with that shit, man. I'm in Cleveland. I was loving it. Man. I mean, I'm still glad they won either way. I think it's gonna be a fun game. But yeah, man, hell no. Fuck no. James Harden pissed me off. Boy, boom. And the crazy part is, I don't even know why I took it. I don't even know why I took it because he always fuck up in the seventh game. Uh, zero DTE. What you mean? Zero DTE. Oh, for the shorts. Oh no, 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 I'm not gonna take them. I'm just saying they look pretty good on the 4 hour time frame. But if I did take them, no, 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 I'm not taking those zeros. Absolutely not. Multiple reasons why. One, obviously, like I said, is they can just chop us. It's already 115. we really haven't done much, right? We opened up down here in pre-market. We're literally right at the same spot. you know, nothing's fucking happened. If all we've had is this, right? Head, shoulder. So if the head and shoulders does play out, your measured move would be 738, 735. So it'd be a $3 drop. Uh, so this would be your measured move, right? And then your main next target, if you want to go full, would be from the head all the way down. So it'll probably a little bit lower than that, right? If it plays out, right? But remember, not all patterns play out all the time. So you don't want to just take it just because you see a pattern, right? Because sometimes you might see what you think is a head and shoulders at support, right? But it might just be some consolidation for a bit. And then it might just be getting ready for the next leg, right? So you got to be careful just by taking only one thing, right? Remember, you want to see it break the neckline, consolidate underneath the break line, the neckline, retest, and then clear that where it broke down at. So yeah, no, I'm not gonna take the zeros. Like I said, it's just too risky. And then you get these candles, but there hasn't been not yet, it hasn't been any follow through, right? We got this one here, consolidated, kind of got this one here, you know what I'm saying? But these wicks and then the green, like, yeah, unless you're buying at the money puts, like if you bought at the money puts up here, right? And you're in like 737s or something, or you're 738, like, then okay, cool, I could see that. But yeah, man, I'm not. Like I said, bro, we're green. Like, I just don't see the need to take that trade, right? Let me see. Yeah, that rejection is nasty, though. Yeah. I do see it coming down to 7 there. 527.33. Yeah, like that, right? Like I would do that. I would do a trade for a little bit of time. I'm glad y'all didn't buy them calls though. Good Lord. And if you did, like it's okay. You live and you learn. I need to drop this in the chat real quick. Hold on. I keep forgetting about the chat. Can't leave the chat hanging. All right, there you go. Yeah, I had to tell everybody. I hope I saved y'all from the longs game. Gotta copy this. Oh, I forgot I'm using the other phone. It won't let me. Well, if y'all are in the chat, y'all see this anyway. Is this swingable or should I cut it before the end of the day? It depends on how low it goes, Because like I said, we can, if they just want to send us right to the move, it's gonna come right here, And we do have an hour, so it could happen today. But if we do hit this level, I would swing runners, right? I'd swing runners. I wouldn't swing full size, of course not. But I'd swing runners because overnight you could get this move, right? You could get that overnight. It's too hard to say whether it'll happen now, but look at the daily. All right, perfect. Right where we are. All right, we have we have a gap right here. First off, have a huge gap below, and look where the 20 is, right? So if they do want to come down tomorrow or even the next day, even if it's the whole week, right? Even if it's just smooth, sounds good, bro. You saved me, man. I was in calls and switched to push for 45% heavy play. Yes, sir. I'm glad, man. Yeah, because like I said, I didn't see the reason for that at all. There was no bullishness. There was no bounce. There was no support. Like, there was no nothing. So I'm like, oof, oof. Thank you, bro. Of course, man. But yeah, so all you gotta do now is watch that level here. Damn, I've been over here talking y'all. I ain't even take to play my damn self. But that's how shit goes. Is what it is. But yeah, that was beautiful. That was a nice little breakdown retest. Look, oof, off the 4-2, break, retest, and we just clicked the low. So yeah, be careful of low of day. Obviously, like I said, downside. I do believe downside is still limited. You know, um, just because we gotta, we're getting intraday dumps. We've been doing that all day, right? We've been getting a pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump. So take your profit. Be very, very, be very careful with it. Um, but yeah, I'm like I said, man, I'm not a fan yet, man. I'm just not a fan yet. Like I said, I would rather see it come down either here, bottom out, come down here, bottom out, or down here. I want to see something. I just can't. I can't. But like I said, I'm sticking to my game plan. Everybody has their own game plan. Everybody has the whatever they're looking for. So just be careful on either side. Make sure you mark this gap too, because if they do want to take us there, they'll fuck around and gap us down there. Honestly, damn, bro, I'm over here yapping with y'all. I done missed the damn play myself. Yeah, it's crazy 'cause this is literally the same trade I took earlier. Literally took the same one. Rejection off here. It was 105%, like 4 minutes. They literally did the same thing. Wash, rinse, repeat. But yeah, this one probably will slice through. You probably go ahead and get that 731. How much time we got left? Yeah, see. And remember, this is why I was like, hey, I don't want to go long on this candle because I was like, oh, nah, never mind. Absolutely not. Look at that. Uh, uh. All right. So now you're at the neckline. So you want to trim, right? Trim at the neckline. Trim it low of day, and then just kind of let the lower come down. 733. You know, 731, 520 as well. Are you saying? What did I miss here? No, no, no. I'm saying like this would be your target, right? If we do clear these lows, you got to watch for 731. But 728 is going to be the main watch. If we go that low, remember you got to have a if this then that type of game plan. So right, we see the head and shoulders. That's easy to see, right? If this, then that, right? So you'll have take profit here, and you'll have take profit here. And then runners, obviously, you let the runners run. If they want to come fill this gap real quick, bottom on the 20 and then go, so be it. Then we'll play it like that. But as of now, yeah, let this dump play out. As long as my Microsoft ain't going too crazy. Okay, okay, Microsoft chilling. All right. That's like I said, this is the only one I'm in right now. It's still looking good. So yeah, that's the only thing I'm really worried about. Yeah, this downside though, man. Yeah. Oop. And the funny part is, if, like I said, if the whole bullish move was a trap, then we'll know because one, we're back in the range, right? At the bottom of the range is down here. This is literally the same range. So if we do rotate below this and we lose it, right, we're going to target that same level. The same amount above is going to be the same amount below. It's a one of one measure move. You don't have any Iran leaps, do you? Nah, nah, nah. I played Iran for like every day for like a week straight. We smacked I think 100 over 100% every single day for that whole week we played it. And then that was it. And then earnings came and then it didn't do anything. So I was like, Dunzo. Yeah, almost there. All right, almost to that underneath that trigger. 733. And this is literally what I called at the beginning of the day. If you're in the chat, you see me say, hey, Tay, be careful. 733. All right. 733 is your main downside watch. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Breakdown for our retest and dump to low day. Damn, bro. Y'all got me over here yapping. Those puts up like 200%. See? Damn, bro. I should have got in. Yeah, chilling. But if we do go to that 731 today, you know, be a little frustrated. But it is what it is. Like I said, there's always gonna be profit to be made. We caught the opening pump, we caught the dump here, we caught this pump here. So, can't catch them all, can't win them all. But yeah, so it looks like we're about to go ahead and get it. So they might just go ahead and come out and take this out today. Yeah, during power hour, because it's only 120. Oh, we're golden. Yeah, so this actually you might be able to hold those puts a little longer, yeah, as long as we, because remember, right here, smack in the middle, you have your middle line, you have your channel support, you have your channel resistance, right? So remember, that's why I said we couldn't go long because any side has to break for you to get confirmation to either side. You can play inside of it, of course, right? You can play inside. We got the rejection the first time, we got the bounce the first time, right? All this happened in pre-market, so obviously we can take advantage of it. But we caught the dump, and then I didn't catch this second dump, but you know. So yeah, go ahead and wait for this. If it does get this closed, we got 9 minutes left. And you say you feel bear market on. No, 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 no. So I'm just saying, as of now, we're not in a bear market. We just have a bear trend. It's only been 2 days, So and it's what like 2% or some shit like that. Let me see. Yeah, from all time high, we're only down 2%, literally 2%. So you can't call this not a bear market and no shit like that. But yeah, for a bear market, we would actually have to lose like the original all time highs, like way, way back. Then I'd be like, okay, you know. But look, see, you got so much space in between being actually worried, you know. If it just like I said, if it slices through, fills this gap, if imagine if it comes this low, if it does this, then you got to be a little careful, right? But even then, if it does come all the way back here, you know, it is what it is. We might have to buy it off here too, you know. So you just got to play it level to level to level. So it's hard to say what could happen possibly in the future because it's like, well, in order for X, Y, and Z to happen, A, B, C would first have to happen, you know. So I don't like to go too far ahead because then you'll start overthinking. Like if your brain's like, oh man, well, you know, what happens if we come down here? And then you mess around and just it'll force you to do stupid stuff. So you just take it level to level, right? Remember, we still got to worry about this neckline, right? We got to worry about this shit right here. Because if this does this and it holds from here, you know, then none of this matters anymore, right? But if we do come down here, fill that gap, get to 20, then we start to recover. Okay, cool. Again, then none of this matters down here. So I don't really worry about that shit unless I have to, right? And we don't really have to right now. We're in a bearish trend, right? A short-term trend. So that means there are sellers, obviously, which is what we expected, right? We called the top at 750. We said, hey, 750 is probably gonna be the top. 745, 750. That indeed was the top. So anything below, yeah, I'm not freaking out because obviously, like I said, healthy bull markets, you know, need pullbacks. So healthy bull markets, people get scared all the time. That's because they only focus on this, right? They only focus on this and they always forget about, you know, this over here. So, and like I said, you could play it either way, but it's harder to play the downside because you don't know where that official bottom is gonna set you up at, you know. It could be here, right? It could be right here. And you see how the downside is it's more so it's not like falling off a cliff. It's more like you know. So this is a lot harder to play than something simple like this, right? So that's why we only took these puts, right? And that's why I said this even here looks good. But other than that, yeah, nah, I'm not like freaking out because at the end of the day, you still gotta zoom out and remember we had all of this first. So this little move, I mean, as long as it, like I said, as long as it's not like vertical down and it's just sell everything, we losing 10%, all that stupid shit. But if it's not, then it's just controlled selling, right? And controlled selling is good inside bullish markets because you need pullbacks, right? You need relief. Oh wait, do that. Okay, all right, cool. We officially broke low a day. And then yeah, right, what's that, 733? Yeah, that's where we bounced them last time. I wouldn't necessarily say this was like a crazy level to freak out over, nothing like that, but just just watch it, just because we still where it was resistance last Tuesday, but we never came back and retested it, right? We broke out from it, but we haven't came back. So if we do come back, it might try to bounce first because there's buyer stack there, but I don't know if it'll be the absolute bottom and go from there, right? I prefer it to come down here, at least come down, maybe even a little lower and then pop like that. The lower it goes, the better it'll be for us as far as swinging calls whenever we do get a nice little bid. But underneath, yeah, it's still, you know, yeah, go ahead and clear that. Look, that was a beautiful head and shoulders though. Look, the right shoulder literally just played beautifully. Right on out. What other tickers y'all got? Yeah, that was the wrong way to put it. But yeah, just saying how we were getting new all-time high every day. Yeah, exactly. Like what was this? Every other day we're getting new all-time highs for 3 weeks straight, just all-time high, all-time high. Eventually, you do want to see it come back, you know? You do want to see it set some sort of higher low or something like that, right? But because this is like, we played it. It is what it is, you know. We made a good ton of money on it, but still, it's still scary, just going up every single day. You need to see some relief, right? And then this would be the perfect place to set the bear traps, right? You get all the bears stacked in, you get everybody convinced that we're gonna go all the way down, right? Look at that. Boom, boom. And then maybe take out this low, right? Maybe even come down, like I said, maybe even come down here, take out this one, right? Or even if they do want to come back and take out this one, it's still not necessarily bearish yet because look, just zoom out, right? Now, if we start to get all the way underneath here and we lose 690 back when we're back in the 600s, clearly, yeah, this is probably all big one liquidity trap. But like I said, if it's not happening now, You don't need to worry about that shit too much. You're gonna psych yourself out. It's gonna force you to do shit you don't mean. What do you think about Hood? Oh, Robin Hood. Let me see. I fuck Robin Hood. Robin Hood was with the first broker I used when I started trading. But then that shit got, I don't know, I started doing bigger amounts and using stuff and it wasn't really working for me. That's why I switched to Webull. And then, Robinhood closes you at 2:30. I feel like that shit lame as hell. Take a look at Baba if you're curious. I'm still, oh yeah, I'll look at that too. All right, yeah. So Robinhood, still fairly new, not really too much going on. All you really can do is connect the bottoms, honestly. Yeah, hold on. Let's do it this way. There you go. That's better. All right, yeah. So this is basically the same thing, kind of like what we're looking at for the smaller time frame on SPY, you know, in this little downtrend, right? And the only way you can play it long, like I said, is if it breaks the channel, right? Once we break this channel, if it breaks the channel, right, this thing could do like this for the next couple years, right? You never really know. So I wouldn't necessarily start buying into that just yet. You wanted to see it kind of bottom. Like you had a nice pop, but it didn't give it all away, so it doesn't really mean anything. So I would personally wait until you do clear, get back above, maybe break this channel, get back above, and then yeah, buy and hold for long term. But yeah, I wouldn't look for long on that right now. Oh no, Baba. Yeah, same thing. Yep, Bob, the same thing, right? And it didn't play out. See, remember how we had this level? We said, hey, only way you can go long, same thing. It's got to break that level, it's got to retest, and then go back up. But this is kind of like SPY. Everything's kind of looking the same right now, right? You had the bearish move, you had a nice little trap, came out, take that swing, and probably gonna push lower, right? So I'm not, yeah. But I guess on a shorter time frame, you could watch it for like relief bounces, let's say. So you could use last week's low, right? And then if you do get some sort of, consolidation or something above that, like if it does come down here and then it starts to bounce and recover, you do have a gap in between here and here. So if it does get back over, you'll have a nice little target for it. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily look for new positions. If you're in, like if you've been in for a while, like I said, according to your game plan, you do you. But yeah, I still wouldn't just necessarily be going too crazy on it. See, look, and then again, same thing we said with SPY. You got to be careful to that downside because it's limited. And even if we do, reject here, it's just the fact that if you're playing zeros, look at all this. Yes, you may get it from here to here. Yes, the move did happen. But if you're playing zeros and you're playing too far out, you're still getting chopped up, right? One candle can take you from 100% back to like 50 quickly. Bless you. Um, but yeah, if we do get back above, like I said, 736, 737, you know, you basically have to keep the same outlook no matter what, right? Because like I said, we don't control the market. We just play what we see. So as of now, like I said, we're still in a bullish trend, right? Even with these two red days. Wow, don't freak out. But you want to see the daily attempt to maybe try to pull up and then continue down. Or like I said, just go straight down to our target, right? We already know where our lower target is. And that's why I said it's limited because we know if we get here, we're gonna bounce, right? I don't know if we're gonna go bounce all at all-time highs, but we will bounce off the 20, right? It's rare that we just get to the 20 and just slice and never see any kind of bounce, right? Especially if we're in a insane bull rally like this, right? It's never happened. We've never just seen it and just sliced all the way through because at that point, the trend is starting to flip and there'll be signs, right? The 5 will start to curl down, the 20 will start to curl down, and the 5 will cross under. That's how we know, okay, cool. Now we can start looking to play the rejections. But for the most part, I mean, if the 5 is going insane, the 20 is just catching up, you want to see it kind of, the stock kind of stall out a little bit. Let the 20 catch up. It's just like trading VWAP or something like that. VWAP, 21 EMAs, all that stuff. You use those as entries. It's the same thing. It's the daily chart, so you got to be more patient. And that's where most people's problem are. They just be too, instant gratification. So you can't do that because we can't control the markets. You get a little piece, right? Like you said, you got your puts, you got the shorts, you made you some bread. Cool, get the fuck out the market. And vice versa. I played long, I got me a little bread, I got the fuck up out. Yeah, see, look, because even if you took off all the wicks for today, right, you got this move, but other than that, that was what 10 o'clock. So for the past few hours, you've just been kind of ranging, and not to say that it can't, obviously it can go that way, or not to say that it won't finally get a big move, but you just want to wait for the levels to retest. So here, if it rejects underneath here, then you might be able to go lower. But even then, you still got to watch out for that lower wick, right? You still got to watch out for these levels. So yeah, that's why I said just buy time. If you made money, and that's how I trade. I'll usually take zeros and ones at the same time. So like here, I bought zero DT calls and ones. So that way when I do hit my level, right, I sell all the zeros. I'm out of the zeros quickly. And that's why sometimes I have FOMO, it is what it is, but you'd rather be safe than sorry, because you can get moves like this where if I held all my zeros, they go red, right? But because I cut my zeros up here, I have a cushion, right? Now I got me a nice little profit cushion. So even if my ones go red, I'm still green on the day. And that's what it's about, just compounding games. If you don't catch it today, you'll catch some shit tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, shit, you'll catch some shit next day. So yeah, you want to see this break back up. If this happens, I might actually start a Friday position, right? But if not, like I said, there's no rush. There's no rush. Remember, these are the daily levels. The yellow lines I have are my daily levels, right? Anything else in between is probably like an hourly, 4 hour level, right? But the daily level is obviously gonna be the strongest. The same reason why we respect the 5 day because it's the daily moving average. What time is it? 1:30. Damn, yeah, I'm low key pissed about now though. That motherfucker is flying. Yeah, so like I said, if you do have the 1DTs or what do you have, the 520s? The 520s or 522s? What's that? Today or tomorrow? Oh, 2 days. Oh, you got 2 days. Oh, you straight. Yeah, as long as you can, like I said, as long as you stay under here, you can for sure hold them because you got time. You're not in a rush. So if you get this rejection, then you should get this move, whether it be tomorrow, today, if that, then this, right? If this, then that, and you have levels, like I said, to trim along the way. So yeah, you straight. You straight. I might have to grab some myself. And yeah, I mean, obviously you can trade every single move. You can, but I think after a while, after a few years, you kind of just realize like, damn, I don't need to catch every move, right? Because you never know what move might be coming. If I spend all my buying power trying to catch this downside, what happens if this is lower date, right? What happens if we don't go lower than this? And what happens if we catch a huge move to the upside, right? Remember, the trend is your friend. So I like to save my buying power for trend moves. So this one's, like I said, it's just been choppy for 2 days. So I'm not interested. And like I said, it's definitely a good play. It is what it is. But everyone has their own set of rules. And you gotta follow your rules. That's just one of my rules. And like I said, it can come down, clear this out, but it is what it is. You already got your levels, 730, 731, you straight. Oh wait, we hit our 733? We did, huh? I gotta go talk my shit real quick. Hold on. Oh yeah, that was like 2 hours ago. Oh, that was 3 hours ago. Hold on. That boy like a magician, bro. Oh yeah, that shit was, let me see. Yeah, 9:46. 9:46. Watch 7:33. Come on, man. Niggas not doing it like that for real. Yeah, so that was my main level to watch. I didn't realize we had just hit it, but yeah, that's 7:33. And look, that's again another reason why I'm not interested in shorts because like I said, that was my lower target, but we would need to at least get a 30-minute higher lower something in here to tell me, hey, now we go lower. Then at that point I'd be interested, right? Not initially. You don't want to chase the move when it's already happened, right? You want to remember the same way in the bull market, right? The same way you want to get in here, right? You want to get in here on the pullbacks, same thing, right? Vice versa. When we're going down, I don't want to get in here. I want to get in here, right? So I can catch the leg down, right? But most times people they'll see this move and try to get in here. So then when they see this, they stop out and then it goes and they're like, oh, what the fuck, you know? So you gotta rewire your brain, change the way you think a little bit. Whenever you feel that FOMO, wait for it. Give it some time. If you feel FOMO, give it 15 minutes, right? More times than not, you'll be saving yourself a lot of money, especially in this kind of price action. This ain't doing shit. But yeah, my laptop getting low and I'm upstairs and shit like that. So I'll probably go. I'll let this candle close out. If there's any more other ones y'all want me to look at real quick, just drop it in the chat. I'll go ahead and give them a look. But yeah, man. Either you, like I said, if you want to swing, buy some time. Buy some time on that downside, man. Because like I said, if it does go down, let's say tomorrow we gap down here, you're gonna be paid, right? And you'll be glad you bought time. But if we don't, it'll be okay. Like unless we gap up like crazy. We gap up crazy, you might be fucked. But yeah, I don't see that happening unless there's some, Trump say some dumb shit. But Oracle, let me see. Uh, Wait, did we trade or did we play Oracle? I think we played Oracle last week. Ah, yeah, we did. We did play Oracle. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that shit. Shit pissed me off. I be just trying to get in and out, bro. I see my little profit. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get in and out. Especially if I don't normally watch the ticker. Then it's kind of like, I'm in uncharted territory. Like I know SPY. I know how SPY moves. I know how the contracts move. I know the levels like the back of my hand. It's easy for me. But other tickers, like, everything moves differently. You gotta, see how the contracts move. Do they move fast? Is the spread wide? Is there enough volume? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of questions you gotta ask when you're trading like individual tickers that aren't, normally traded every day. But damn, see, this is what I'm hoping that Microsoft doesn't do, right? Because this also had a little nice little bull flag, and we caught a piece of it, but yeah, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that back inside the range too, back inside the channel. Yeah, you don't want to see that at all. But good thing you have the support. You have the 20. You have the 20 estimate right here. So you might get saved by that bounce, but like I said, I just will wait. You wait till you recover fully, then enter. Right? I mean, well, low key, you still got the oof. Hold on. Nix that. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, yeah. You see how we bounced off the 20 here? This is what I'm waiting for on SPY. All right. Us to come on, sell off. This is why I need us to gap down tomorrow or, for the next 2 days. Gap down, and then we can just catch a nice little buy off that 20. But yeah, this one's a little scary because that 5 is turning down. 20's right here. So you're really stuck in between these two zones. So you really got to see which one wins. Either the 20 is going to be support, you break out above, or it's going to be resistance. But because they're so close together, you'll get a move eventually. And like I said, man, consolidation leads to expansion. So it's good that you see shit going sideways. All right, you got your little sideways range for 15 days, about 2 weeks. So if this does break down to the downside, it's gonna be a pretty violent move to the downside. Or if it goes up, it's gonna be a pretty violent move to the upside. All right. So yeah, it's Oracle. Let me see. Microsoft. Okay, still holding on. We got in over here, so it's still holding on. But yeah, we got some days on that shit though. We'll let that shit slide. Let me see. Oracle. Spy still going lower. Oh no, no. Let's check VIX. Team VIX gapped up though. That's another thing you be careful of too. Oh yeah. See? Oh yeah. Yeah, we might be getting some more pullbacks. Um, we might have a weekly pullback. Remember, because SPY has not had a red week in some time. So watch last week's low for sure. We should already be oh no, we still have damn. I didn't realize last week's low was so low. Yeah, 731. Oh yeah, see it all lines up. Yeah, okay then. Oh yeah, say that then. All right. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Sure. All right, yeah, well, yeah, just keep it simple. And yeah, like I said, if you still have what you got, the 522s, yeah, you should be straight. Yeah, as long as you don't get that green candle of death, man. But yeah, you should be straight. And like I said, I would prefer it to come down here. Microsoft, yeah, fuck this up on that shit. Microsoft one more time. Yeah, no, Microsoft is just I saw this weekly. It looks really good to me. All right. But like I said, for confirmation, we still need to take out last week's highs. Well, really, all these weeks' highs, they're all stacked at that 420 to 435 level. Really, just 420 to 430. If you can get above that zone, Microsoft will fly. We need this shit to like gap up crazy or some shit like that. Hopefully, we get a little random news candle or some shit. I saw it said that somebody was just recently buying this shit up. It might have been Trump. Or somebody. They said somebody was in that motherfucker buying hella Microsoft. Yeah, so if you can get back above this, long above. All right. And that's why I have that trigger right here too. Cause then well, I got like I said, I got in early at the open and stuff like that. But um you don't see. Oof. Like I said, that's not good though. So make sure you have profit stops, right? If you're already in, make sure you're not swinging full size every single day because you never know what might be the day you get cooked. Yeah, bro. See, if they were just really wanted to just dump it, we would have just dumped already. We would have just been dumped. And that's the same thing I told people when we were looking over where is it at? Remember there was like 2 days where it just was going like super trendy. Oh, was it this one? Let me see. It was one of those days where it was like doing, oh, right here, right here, right here. This was after the expansion, right? We just got the expansion. We finally had our first pullback, like 2 day pullback. And this is when I was like, bro, if they wanted to dump it, like we're truly gonna dump, they would just flush that shit. It'd be a quick, what do you say, staircase up, elevator down, right? But it's just not the case, not yet anyway. So we played the same thing over here, right? For 2 days. 2 days, we got looked up, it came down, and then next went right back up. So until the trend changes, then keep the same rules, right? Keep the same game plan, keep the same momentum, do the same, don't change anything. And we got about okay, yeah, well, I guess end of day. So end of day, we'll be able to know where this closes. Um, hopefully don't do no whole shit. If they do, they'll probably try to close it right back above, right? If they want to trick everybody, they'll probably close it back above. But it's in weird territory. It's in bull trap and also bear trap territory. So either way can go. That's why I'm hands off. 'Cause I just don't want to, spend that buying power. You get in a move and then overnight, something happens. So I don't really see the risk. I don't see the reward. I just only see risk right now. So I don't like that. Remember, I only trade if it's hitting a level, whether it be this level, whatever level, I just need to see a reaction to a level. So you can see it gapping down more today. Closing scare power. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing too. Power hour, man, you can see all type of shit. Like you see this, right? This whole dump into the close just for pre-markets open up here and then it still go to the move. That's why I just don't be, yeah, I don't be having I'll swing the calls, of course. When we're in a continuous uptrend, I find a little dip buy. Like this over here, this is beautiful, right? I told everybody in the chat, hey, 731 to 734 is where I plan on buying at. We came down, I bought blindly. I did not care because I knew it was the bottom, right? And then what do we do for 2 days straight? Really, 3 days straight, man. That shit went up for 3 whole days. So, it's easier when you're going with the trend, but swinging the shorts outside the trend, like I said, it's either gonna pay you crazy as fuck and we're gonna open up down here, or it's gonna bear trap and open back up right above here. So, um, it's up to you, man. Like I said, I'm not doing it. It's not my money, it's your money, but you do what you want to do. And yeah, probably go ahead and sign off, man. About time to start putting in these parlays. I got AJ Mitchell for over 15, Stephon Castle over 15, and then I got Victor Wembanyama for 10 rebounds. That shit should be green, but man, you know how these motherfuckers play. But yeah, I'm about to go chill, enjoy my day. Y'all know I hate looking at this shit, so and you should too. You should not want to stare at this shit all day. It's the point, of doing this so you work less, right? You catch your move, you catch your money, and you leave this shit the fuck alone. Go enjoy your day, go have fun, go do whatever you want to do. So y'all go do that, and yeah, I'll see y'all, and y'all know where to find me. Hit me up if you need anything. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, boys, be safe.